finding joy in the little things. This is a topic that is so close to my heart because it's one of the things that I struggle with the most, is allowing myself to be present, to enjoy the small joys that life has to offer. And this is what I really want to talk to you about today. And I want to share some ideas or some things that I find joy in that perhaps can inspire you to look for the little joys of life for yourself. So before we get started, let's pause and take a really nice deep conscious breath, inhaling fully through the nostrils if you can, and exhaling through the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhaling and exhaling. Let it all go. If you're watching on YouTube, I often tilt my head to exhale because I'm conscious that if I breathe directly into the microphone, it will just be all crackly and distort the audio. And so that's why I do that if you're watching on YouTube. But welcome. Today is a really important topic, finding joy in the little things in life. This is part of a series that I've been sharing here where I'm sharing old videos that I created a couple of years ago, but I'm sharing my new perspective on the topic from my growth from the last couple of years, from evolving as a person, as a woman, as a meditation and mindfulness teacher, sharing a different vantage point, a different perspective. And I was thinking about this the other day about, often in spirituality, and I don't even know what it is at quantum physics. So I think it's like a spiritual kind of idea of this spiraling higher as we're growing, as we're evolving, as we're awakening. There's kind of this idea of the spiral, we're spiraling upward. And so it's not that we are getting to some kind of destination in terms of growth and healing and awakening or spiritual evolution. It's that we're just getting deeper and deeper and deeper, or higher and higher and higher, to see things from a different perspective. So we're having these similar sort of experiences, these patterns that keep showing up for us, these things that are important to us, these things that we value, the lessons we've come here to learn as human beings on this spiritual journey, as spiritual beings having a human experience. We're going through these same sort of patterns and lessons, but we're just seeing things from a different perspective. And that's really how I feel like this series has kind of shown me, is that I still had the same sort of understanding 2 years ago, but I'm just seeing things a little bit differently and perhaps from a higher, more evolved perspective. And of course, we're always evolving, we're always growing and changing. And so our perspective is also going to shift and evolve and change too. So finding joy in the little things in life. This topic is so closely connected to mindfulness, because mindfulness is the practice of bringing focused attention to the present moment. It is the practice of being present, of living in the moment, of being here right now, where our feet are on the ground, where life is, the experience of life for us right here and now. And so as we learn to cultivate more presence, more mindfulness, we can begin to see all of the different things that life has to offer for us. We can observe all of the things, and maybe they won't always be enjoyable or joyful. If we're talking about this idea of finding joy in the little things in life, often what life is presenting to us won't always be pleasurable or desirable or enjoyable, because often things that we're being presented with are there to show us something, perhaps something that needs to be healed, something that needs some loving attention, a lesson that is being asked to be learned. Things are not always going to be enjoyable, but there is, amongst all of the chaos, amongst all of the challenges that we face, amongst all of the lessons, there are still so many things that we can be grateful for And there are so many beautiful things in life that we can begin to see as we pay more attention. Again, mindfulness being the practice of bringing focused attention to the present moment. It's the practice of paying attention. And just as I'm saying this, I'm looking out the window, like I'm holding this conversation, and I'm also in my peripheral seeing a butterfly land on a flower. And this is just an example of paying attention, noticing these things, the art of noticing. I remember on TikTok recently, there was this trend of the art of noticing was going viral, and people were sharing these little moments that they've captured on film and just noticing these beautiful things in life. And this is what it's really about. This is mindfulness in action. It is paying attention to noticing these things that perhaps we wouldn't notice if we were distracted by our phones, by social media, looking down, these things that we don't notice when we're not paying attention, when we're absorbed in all of the distractions of life. And so I think that one of the greatest lessons that I've learned through my own practice of cultivating more mindfulness, more focused attention, and more intentionality in my own life is this ability to pay attention, to notice these little joys that life has to offer. And I think it's really important here to mention the seasonality of life. I know I've talked about this a lot before, but life has these different seasons because we are a part of nature. We are animals, we're human beings, but we are part of nature. And so we go through these different seasons of life just like nature does. We have these periods of life where we need to go more inward, these winter seasons where we need to retreat, to be alone, to perhaps be a bit more reflective, to learn whatever it is, or to reflect on whatever lessons that we have learned in order to kind of integrate that wisdom and that knowledge. And then we have these seasons where we feel ourselves beginning to emerge and beginning to want to put ourselves out there more in the world, and things begin to blossom and springtime begins to unfold. And then we have these different seasons where we shed, like autumn or fall, we shed old belief systems, we shed old patterns, we shed old parts of ourselves, old identities that no longer resonate, old behaviors or habits that no longer serve us. And so we are always moving through these different seasons of life. And I think that one thing that can be constant in amongst all of the changes and the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows and the seasons of life is this ability to appreciate the small things in life, this ability to pay attention, to notice all of the beauty that still surrounds us, even on the darkest of days. I was looking back on some of my old Instagram stories recently as I was doing a little bit of a cleanup of my highlights, and I had shared this story of how I was feeling. I was in a season of just feeling like, what's the point? I was in a bit of darkness. I wasn't able to see the light. I wasn't able to see the beauty that was surrounding me. I was in a bit more of a, I suppose, serious kind of mindset. And then I looked out the window and I saw these beautiful rainbows, double rainbow. And it just reminded me that even on the darkest of days, even in those moments where we feel like there is no hope, we question what is the point, what is the purpose of it all, there is still beauty to be found. And this is what it means to appreciate the little joys, the small things in life, to have gratitude for what is, for the things that we can appreciate in our lives, even if things aren't going our way, or even if things aren't appearing to be how we want them to be. And this is also another lesson that life teaches us, is that often our minds think things should be other than the way they are. And this is the tricks, I suppose, that the mind plays on us, is thinking that we need to be elsewhere, thinking that we need to be further along on our journey, thinking that we need to be more successful, we need to make more money, we need to lose weight, we need to have all the nice things that we see everyone else having on social media, and it can take us away. The mind, the stories of the mind, the stories that the mind creates can take us away from just appreciating where we are and appreciating that perhaps the season we're in is all serving its own purpose, and we of course can't see that. So if we can take a step back and through those seasons, through those challenges, or through those periods where it doesn't make sense, where we can't understand why things may be happening, can we still allow ourselves to find joy in the small moments in life, to appreciate those small joys? And so I don't think that I'm going to talk anymore now. I think that that's really all I wanted to share. And just perhaps one last thing is just a bit of honesty, is that I think that a really big part of my own personal journey as a meditation and mindfulness teacher, and just as a creative, as someone who really wants to see people not even become, but show up as themselves, be themselves, express themselves, and embrace and love all parts of themselves, is that often I have to go through things myself in order to really learn the lessons, in order to be able to share these teachings or these wisdoms and understandings from a really authentic place. And so I think it's really important to acknowledge that I struggle with this. I find it really challenging sometimes to notice the beauty around me, to find joy in the little things. It is human nature to point out or to notice what's wrong. Again, quote unquote, what is wrong with life, to think that things should be other than they are. And so this is, I guess, a lesson for me and a practice for me, and a lesson for us all, is to come back to that true part of ourselves that knows deep down that we're exactly where we need to be, and that things are the way they are because they are the way they are, and to find some sort of acceptance for our current situation, but then also to be that observer, that innocent, childlike observer of all of the little joys that life has to offer us, and the beauty that does surround us, even amongst the chaos, even amongst the discomfort, even amongst all of the challenges that we may face. So this is my wish and hope for us all, is that we can continue to practice to come back to that part of ourselves that is able to be present and to observe these things. And this is my hope for myself as well, is to continue to show up with the willingness to want to find joy in amongst whatever is going on in life. So I hope you enjoy today's video that I'm going to move into now, sharing this old video that I created a couple of years ago. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gives you some reminders about all of these small ways that we can find joy in the little things in life. Thank you so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of this episode. In my last video, I opened up about how I'd been struggling with feeling flat, unmotivated, and exhausted. I had got so caught up in all of the pressure I was putting on myself that I lost sight of what's really important. The small things that give life meaning and purpose. So right now, I'm doing my best to be a bit more mindful of these things. Here are some of the small things in life that have been bringing me joy. Waking up to the sun rising outside my living room window. That first sip of coffee in the morning. The sound of the rain. There's something so cleansing and calming about the rain. Listening to all of the different sounds of the birds. These birds here are galahs. They're a native Australian bird and they love to come out and look for worms after it's been raining. Going for walks in nature. The signs of spring in the air. The flowers blooming. And the baby ducklings down at the lake. Taking a moment to stop and watch this little snail. What a great reminder to go slowly and take our time. Fresh sheets and a cozy afternoon nap with my cat Nala. Lighting a candle and taking a mindful moment to take in its scent and watch the flames as they gently flicker. A fresh bunch of flowers. Painting my nails. And getting creative and adding some cute little designs. Baking. This is one of my favourite mindful activities. It always helps me to feel more calm and to be more present. Freshly baked banana bread, straight out of the oven. Enjoying a nice meal with my fiance. He's my best friend, and I love having this time together to chat about our day. A warm cup of tea and a good book before bed. Taking time to be grateful for all the good things in my life. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been a gentle reminder to look for those little moments in each day. Even during challenging times, we still have an opportunity to find joy in the little things. Until next time, bye for now.